In today's video, we're going to be upgrading a DT Swiss 350 rear hub with a cheap Chinese 54 tooth ratchet. Now before we take a look at the product, I want to show you how easy it is to work on DT Swiss 350 hubs. Hang tight. So this is how simple it's going to be. The entire setup is removed. You don't even have to remove your cassette, just pull and lift. So now we have exposed the ratcheting mechanism. We can go ahead and remove that, replace it, and so forth. So this is the ZTTO 54 tooth ratchet upgrade for DT Swiss 350 hubs and I believe 240. This cost me $32.21 shipped to my door in Texas from wherever it came from. China, I imagine. So let's talk about the fundamental differences between DT Swiss and the ZTTO ratchet upgrade. So for the $32.21, this is all you get. The ZTTO is made of high tensile steel, or so it is reported, and the 54 tooth DT Swiss is made of aluminum. Now from the pictures of the DT Swiss, the aluminum also looks hollowed out. If you could see that, it's hollow on the inside. So that's going to save some weight on this high tensile steel. Some have said the aluminum chips on the DT Swiss 54 tooth, so it kind of makes sense to go with the high tensile steel. Now the ZTTO claims a weight of 16.5 grams, not including the springs. Now I'm not sure what the name brand DT Swiss 54 tooth weight comes out to be because DT Swiss does not list it. The main differences are we don't know the weight. The material is aluminum versus ZTTO's high tensile steel, and you get special grease, which I don't know what makes it special. I typically just use fills like I use on everything else on my bike. If you're not familiar with a ratchet, here's how it works. So as you propel the bike forward, the teeth come together and they lock. And when you stop pedaling, it's allowed to free spin and click. And that's what's going to give you your sound. The more teeth you have, the more points of engagement or degree of engagement for the ratchet system, the louder and more annoying it's going to sound. This is 54 tooth. What came in my original DT Swiss from Like Carbon was an 18 tooth. And this is clearly branded DT Swiss. Now this is not hollow and it appears to be steel. So as far as upgrading an 18 tooth, I think we're gonna get a lot of benefit, a lot of value out of the 54 tooth high tensile steel, as they both appear to be steel and this one is not hollowed out. I feel like we're gonna get a gram savings as well as better engagement with the $32 ZTTO versus the standard 18 tooth DT Swiss. So what I want to do now is talk about the gains you're going to see going from an 18 tooth to a 54 tooth. I cannot directly compare the 54 tooth ZTTO Chinese ratchet versus the name brand DT Swiss because I don't have a name brand DT Swiss ratchet. So looking at what I'm going from to, I can kind of see what kind of gains I'm going to get or I'm not going to get. So I had a suspicion that the stock one was not aluminum. So what I have here is a magnet. And what this is going to do is tell me if this is aluminum or not. And it is not aluminum. So this is the upgrade, high tensile steel, and it's magnetic. So we've confirmed that both are magnetic and or steel. Definitely not aluminum. So let's look at the weights. So I don't know what the claimed weight of the 18 tooth DT Swiss ratchet is, but we can see we're getting about 23.5 grams. With the springs, 25.6. So that's 25.6 grams total for the set. And for the ZTTO Chinese, we're at 0. The claimed weight is 16.5. It is right at 17. With the springs, 19.2. So 25.5, we are saving about 6.3 grams. So if you have a standard 18 tooth DT Swiss branded rear ratchet in your rear hub and you upgrade, not only are you going to get a weight savings of around 6 grams, you're also going to get an upgrade in degree of engagement. One thing to note is you may get a significant increase in weight savings if you go with the DT Swiss aluminum, but these 54 tooth aluminum ratchets with the grease range anywhere from $90 to $107. So is that enough for what you're looking for? I don't know. Is it for you? I don't know. I think for me, this is of great value. So real quick, a look at the 18, you can see that there's quite a bit of time before it engages. For the 18 tooth, you've got a 20-degree turn and then it engages. With the 54 tooth, you've got about 6.6 degrees before it engages. And that doesn't directly translate to where your crank is, so we can look at that. I'm gonna show you with my crank, which is a 175, what a 20-degree and a 6.6 degree engagement translate to the crank. So let me get these back on the bike and we'll take a look at that. First things first, let's hear what an 18 tooth sounds like. Quite noisy. I didn't put a lot of grease on it, and typically you're gonna get a louder sound when you don't have as much grease. Now let's check what the 20-degree engagement translates to the crank. So a point of engagement translates up into your crank, and when you have a higher degree, you have more play before your crank or your cassette engages. If you look here, we've got about, you can see it hits, and in some of my videos you can hear it. When I put the power back down, it really has a distinct catch as it picks up that slack. That kind of play, I could only assume that it would cause a lot of cassette bite into your hub or your freewheel. What I have here, a digital angle meter, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to 0. Now let's see, when do we hear the click or the engagement? It's gonna be hard to get it exactly right, so. 5.4, 5.5, we heard the click to the crank. So 20 degrees translates to about 5 to 5.5 degrees at the crank. Now let's swap this out and see what the 54 tooth does. The 54 tooth is in, let's hear what that sounds like. Quite annoying, but I don't care about the sound. What I care about is this number here. We're as close to 0 as we can get. It's about 1.5. What that translates to is 1.5 degrees at the crank, which the 18 was 5.5, 5 to 5.5, and this is 1.5-ish. We've effectively reduced the degree of engagement, or when we can start putting power to the wheel again, by 4 degrees. It's still gonna catch, but I feel like it's not gonna be as much. And that's it. That's the upgrade. Now, whether or not you need this is a completely different story. I want to tail on this end of this video. J&L is sending me another headset, and I'm hoping it's expedited so we can get that video out on the 696. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stick around for the next one.